Japan. Japan's been the one place that I always wanted to go to and was the best trip I've ever done in my life. I went to Koyosan, and that's what this video is about. Koyosan is the center of Shingon Buddhism. It's up in the mountains, so you have to take multiple trains to get to Koyosan. You take the bullet train, and then there's a second train that you need to take. This was the most beautiful train ride I've ever been on in my life. I felt like I was in a Studio Ghibli movie. There was literally a tunnel through a mountain at one point, and it was a beautiful sunny day, and I was alone in the cart for most of the ride too. There wasn't anybody else going there, really. And then you get to the base of the mountain, because Koyosan is up on the top of mountains, and you have to take this vertical train, not that, almost vertical. It's on a slant like this, and it was very strange. So it was like you to get to each row of seats, you'd have to walk up a step of stairs. You take that up, and now you're at the top. Now you're in Koyosan. This is a beautiful city. This is the capital again of Shingon Buddhism. There are 117 different temples, and it's also the home to the Okunoin Cemetery, which is the biggest grave in Japan, and I'm going to get to that later. So you walk around these different temples, very beautiful. You could go inside some of them that you weren't allowed to. They always had a little box where you could put some yen in and do a little prayer. I forget what the manners, the gestures were that you're supposed to do. I think it was 3 bows and then a clap and then another bow. I took a picture at this famous gate here called the Daimon Gate, and it was beautiful. So this temple specifically has a rock garden that was world famous, and these rocks are supposed to represent a dragon going through the ground and coming back up. And these patterns in the sand or gravel are redone every morning by the Buddhist monks. So that night I stayed at a temple, and the temple was called the Shiokubu Ekoin Temple. This is a picture of my room. Classic tatami mats just on the ground, and it was a little cold, but you had a heater, and I was so happy to be there. This was possibly the highlight of the trip for me, other than going to Tokyo and getting a bunch of anime stuff. It wasn't like you were living like a monk per se, but you did eat like one. You get these vegetarian meals from the monks, and they give you several different dishes that you can try. And honestly, I eat like a pig, and I was full, so that says a lot. I recorded it. This is a younger me, 2 years ago. I go through all the dishes. We're gonna play the dinner meal right now. Okay, so I got a few things here. These little bowls. What's in this? It's hot. A little soup. Probably miso. It smells like miso soup. Some like vegetables. There's fruit. I think this is dessert. This is noodles. Some fried vegetables. It's like a bunch of different dishes. A lot of vegetarian dishes. What's this? Rice. And tea. Nice. It's gonna be cool. Right, so dinner was amazing, and then after dinner, you have the option to do a tour with a monk who will guide you through the Okunoin Cemetery at night. It was also a full moon, which really added to the experience. Okay, so again, at the top of a mountain, the capital of Buddhism basically in Japan, temples everywhere. You're going into the largest graveyard in Japan, 200,000 tombs. Okay. And Japanese have a very different mindset towards graves. They see it as a place of respect, not necessarily to be scared. And that was an amazing experience. So, small group, a monk that can speak English guides us through, and there's all these little torches lit beside all the graves. And he's going through, he's telling us about this cemetery. And one thing that was really cool was there is a well of reflections, and they say if you look into it and you see a reflection, you'll live a long life. But if you look into it and you don't see a reflection, you'll die in 3 years. And someone warned me about this before I even went. So, yeah, no one on this tour actually went to see it, but it was a little creepy to hear about it. And very late at night, it was pitch black. Then we got to a place where there was a bunch of different Buddha statues, and we got to pick one that we liked, and we could pour. There was a spoon. There's this big spoon that you could pour water and then pour onto the statue as a type of prayer. And this is a picture of the statue I picked. I thought it looked pretty cool, and I think it was the biggest one there. Now we cross a bridge, and the Buddhist monk specifically says no more cameras at this point. So put the cameras away, no more picture taking. We're crossing through to the Kobodaishi Mausoleum, and this is where they believe Kobodaishi, who's the person that brought Buddhism to Japan, is. Some people believe he's still there. So we didn't go up to it, but we could see this little mini temple where they put meals out every day for him. And again, they believe that he's still there praying, and because he went in hundreds of years ago and no one ever saw him come out. So the monk did a mantra with us, and we stayed in silence and closed our eyes and put our hands together. And this mantra, I'm not going to imitate it. I feel like that's disrespectful for me, but it sounded like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Do you remember that scene where the lion turtle is calling Aang into the water? It sounded like that. And again, that was an amazing experience too. So then after that, we walk back. I find that they've redone my room and put a bed on the mat, and it was a good sleep. I put the heater on, and I think I slept with my Sherpa jacket too, because it was just a little bit cold, but I had a great sleep. Now, you wake up, you gotta do this, okay? I woke up really early, and then I went into the hot spring that they had there, and I took I guess it's a bath. That was cool. That was like one of the bucket list things for me to do, because you always see it in like Naruto and all those classic animes. And yeah, so I did that really early in the morning. At 6 o'clock, they have a fire ceremony, or gome, and this is a little bit outside the temple, and you're not supposed to record, but somebody else did, so I went up to them after and asked them to airdrop it to me. Okay, so the monk sits there. You have the option to get a prayer stick and write down what you want to pray for. And I wrote down health and my family. And so then you give it to the monk. It was around 40 minutes, I believe, where the monk would slowly build this fire while doing mantras. And the flames continue to rise, and it ended up becoming like 5 feet tall. And would start throwing in the prayer sticks to set that intention for health and fortune and success. It was priceless, and I'll never forget it. I have a little picture here, actually. they had a little shop. Oh shoot. They had a little shop, and I got this little picture. And I keep it beside my desk. After that, you go back to your room, and then you have another meal, a breakfast. And I recorded that as well. So here is that video of me eating a vegetarian breakfast, which is the only time I would ever do such a thing. Because usually breakfast for me needs to contain a lot of protein. Okay, so here we go. Okay, this is breakfast. We got the rice, tea, orange, I don't know what that is. There's a bowl. This is my teacup. This is a soup. Some kind of sauce, some kind of beans. I'm really cold. I don't know what this is. And then some vegetables. Afterwards, walked around Koyosan more, saw more temples, and I wanted sushi. There's only one sushi place in this whole city, or town, or village, and I wandered through using Google Maps. Thank God I had a signal, and found it. And honestly, I thought it was abandoned. I ended up walking in and seeing that there was a guy in there, and there was one other person eating too. And he let me sit down. He gave me this English menu, and I got some sushi. It was incredibly expensive. Fair enough. They have to ship it all the way up from the bottom of this mountain, right? There's no fish around there. But it was the best unagi I've ever had in my life. I got some other different sushi pieces. That was good too, but it wasn't better than the sushi I ended up having in Tokyo. But the unagi I never had better. And I don't think I ever will have better. It was the best unagi I've ever had in my life. Afterwards, I took the train to Kyoto and continued on my journey. I wanted to focus on Koyosan and share it with you, because even though I was there for a day, it left an impact on me. I'm not religious, but the energy there did feel different. There was a level of peace and respect that I haven't felt anywhere else in the world. I hope that you have the chance to visit Koyosan one day. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it means a lot to me. To end off the video, I'm gonna play the Goma ceremony without me talking over it so that you can hear the chants. I hope you have a great day.